Today I'm going to talk to you about one of the best bands ever in rock pop music. One of my favorites as well. It's a band that's called Supertramp. They started in 1970 with an album called Supertramp as well. We didn't have a lot of success, and then next year they made another album called Indelibly Stamped. And well, most of you know the trajectory and the albums of this band. It's a wonderful band, and what I want to talk to you about tonight is just my opinion about what happened in 1980 to 1983 when they made this album called Famous Last Words, and then Roger Hodgson called it quits. Yeah, he decided he couldn't cope with the band anymore. Well, in the beginning, he just wanted to get rid of three members of the band, which were John Anthony Haley, which was the player of the Woodwinds, bass player Dougie Thompson, and then the drummer Bob Seelenberg. So why I think it was hit and miss, why I think he screwed it completely, well, for a few reasons. First one being they were going to be, and they had all the potential to be, the best rock band in the 80s, because Famous Last Words was an amazing album. I think it's very underrated, and it's my favorite by Supertramp. I love all of them, but I think Famous Last Words is a very underrated album. Everybody say it was too pop, right? Well, Breakfast in America was pop as well, even more pop than Famous Last Words, but the quality of the songs is amazing, and I think they were starting maturing as a band and really being even more tight together. So, well, Roger Hodgson made this decision, and nobody could change it. But I think it was bad for the band, it was bad for him, and it was bad for the public as well. Obviously, commercially, they neither Roger and the rest of the mates of the band, neither of them got the success, economic success, and also the critical acclaim that they enjoyed when they were together. And furthermore, the quality of the music wasn't as good, in my opinion, as it was when they were together. I haven't traced much, to be honest, in post Roger Hodgson's Supertramp, although I know a lot of people love their albums: Brother Where You Bound, Free as a Bird, Slow Motion, and well, what I've heard of it is Rick Davies going this bluesy rock kind of way, jazzy kind of way, which is lovely, but I personally don't feel identified to it as much as Roger Hodgson's solo material, and obviously as well Supertramp as a band. Roger Hodgson went through very hard times after leaving Supertramp. In fact, his first albums weren't very successful, especially Hi Hi wasn't very much well placed in the ranks. I don't know the exact position, but I have to say as well, his album from 2000 called Open the Door is, in my opinion, the best album ever by a post Supertramp member, regarding as well the post Roger Hodgson Supertramp, excuse me. And I think that album is so good, it's almost as good as Supertramp's albums, It's a very good album. If you don't know it or you haven't heard it, it's very good. Roger Hodgson hired a bunch of French musicians in France where he recorded this album. The title track is an amazing 8-minute long tour de force with a lot of Supertramp reminiscences, and there's other beautiful tracks as Along Came Mary or Death and Azul, and a lot of them. Beautiful album. And well, now Roger Hodgson is enjoying a wonderful time. He's selling out everywhere he goes. And the old members of Supertramp, which keep on being Supertramp, have been very much successful as well. Well, they've had issues with other singers, with them singing the songs from Roger Hodgson, which apparently broke a spoken contract and agreement between them. I'm not going to get into that because that's very delicate, and anyway, everybody will have their own opinion. But musically speaking, I think it's one of the most sorry and sad losses in rock history, probably along with the Beatles or Pink Floyd splitting up as well. I'm gonna do a little bit of a quick review of every album. Obviously, I've spoken already about the first two. Uh, Supertramp was a band that was going nowhere. They didn't get the commercial success they were waiting for. And then they hired three new musicians, which are the ones you know already. And then they became super successful with this album that's called Crime of the Century. I'm sorry for what I'm going to tell you, but I know everybody regarded it as probably the best Supertramp album. I think it's slightly overrated. I'm not that keen on the Rick Davis songs in that album. I think they are a little bit uh, not pretentious, but a little bit more bombastic than they should. I am more keen in other songs by him. Roger Hodgson's songs on this album are quite okay, especially School. School's one of my favorite Supertramp songs. I think it shows the best rapport ever, probably, between the band, and the instrumental piano part is absolutely amazing. And I think it's a very good album, very well produced, very well, everything is perfect on it, but I'm not that keen on that album musically as on others. Well, then we've got Crisis What Crisis, which I consider a very good album and an underrated album as well. There's a lot of leftovers from Crime of the Century, but that doesn't make it a lesser album, in my opinion. And I think the meaning and most of the B-side are amazing tracks. I love Just a Normal Day. I love Poor Boy. Ain't Nobody Like Me is as well a smashing song. And then, well, we got the Central album, which is even in the quietest moments. Central, if you regard the five albums with the good lineup we all know. Even in the quietest moments is another amazing album. They go for a more dense and prog kind of music. Although the intro, the beginning with Give a Little Bit is very pop, but it's an amazing song. It's a very open-hearted song that everybody loved, including me, of course. And then Fool's Overture is one of the best songs they ever did. I mean, it has a lot of meaning. It has incredible instrumentation. The sound effects are very dramatic, and the effect of the whole song is very, very deep and very moving for the listener. And I also love From Now On. I think it's one of the best Rick Davis tracks ever, right? Then we've got Breakfast in America, an obvious success in every way you want to see it. And of course, I love the album. When I said Famous Last Words is my favorite, it's very even with Breakfast in America because I think it's high quality and high standard of songs, especially the A side looks like a hits kind of album, yeah. Although my favorite there is Take the Long Way Home, which I consider another outstanding track. I also love The Logical Song, which is a very, very respectable song and a very iconic song with a lot of meaning in the lyrics, existential and philosophical lyrics with a lot of deepness. And Goodbye Stranger is another song that sees the band at their best form with an excellent duet between Roger and Rick. And then we got Famous Last Words. For me, Famous Last Words is an album I love. I remember in 1982, I was 9 years old, And well, It's Raining Again was sounding all over in the radios in Spain, and then it was such a lovely song. I really loved it when I didn't even know what Supertramp meant or was. But every song on that album, especially the A side of the album, is amazing. I love Crazy. Crazy is a very underrated song. Not even Roger Hodgson liked it, for some stupid reason. But I think it's a very meaningful and a very dynamic kind of a song with a lot of truth again in the words. I love as well Know Who You Are. I think it's one of the deepest and most meaningful songs they made. And well, My Kind of Lady is my love song with my wife, because the day I met my wife, I bought her dinner in an Italian restaurant, and when we were leaving this restaurant, this song came to me just like a ray, to my brain. Ooh, let me tell her what I want to say. Well, I don't want to speak, I don't want to sing a lot, because I don't want my channel brought down, because there's a lot of issues with copyright on the Supertramp songs. But for me, Famous Last Words, I know when they recorded it, they weren't together. There was a lot of riff-raff between them and all that, but I consider it a perfect album. Bonnie is a song I love to bits. It's even more prog than other songs from Supertramp, even more prog than From Now On. I love Bonnie. It's a song that everybody says it's too pop. It's not too pop. It's just amazing. The keyboards there, the layered piano and strings and honky tonk is just amazing, and the guitar, everything is so good, and the singing by Rick Davies is much superior than most of the songs he played with Supertramp's pre-breakup. So that was it. That's what I think about it. I am so sorry that Roger Hodgson split the band, because I think he suffered a lot from that. For a lot of years, he was trying to find his new sound, trying to find his new identity, and he found it so hard. While he had everything with him, I don't know about the relationships. I know there was a bit of tension between he and Rick, but there's again another thing here. They weren't writing the whole songs, the whole bunch of songs together. I mean, Roger had his own songs, Rick Davies had his own songs as well. Obviously, Roger Hodgson's songs were more spiritually oriented and with a very mystical, if you like, mindset, and more sensibility on the songs, on the lyrics. But then Rick Davies was on his blues jazz kind of style, speaking or telling more individualistic and materialistic stories through his lyrics. But then again, they had these two different styles, but they melted together so perfectly that it's just crazy to think about breaking up the band, because they were so good. The albums were so perfect, and the songs were so meaningful and so melodic and so just in the spot, that it was a big loss. Obviously, they didn't make it to be the best band of the 80s. There is a band that I consider was the best band of the 80s, and that will be another video. I'm not going to reveal which band it is, but in my opinion, there's no discussion. There's one band that was everything in the 80s, and they were so good that nobody could come even close, But speaking about Supertramp, you think about what they would have become should they wanted to be together for all those years, 1984, 85, 86, and you can only think they would have been the best band of the 80s. Thank you for watching this video. I am preparing a lot of material, a lot of good videos, a lot of performances as well. And I am very thankful if you want to join me on this journey. I'm just starting this channel, and I am very, very, very anticipating and looking forward to what it will become if you help me. So thank you again for watching this video. I hope to make even better videos, and please suggest me in the comments what should I do next, and what would you like me to speak about in terms of music from all these past 50 years. Thank you. See you again in the next video. Welcome to Perfect Music.